Welcome back to Access Carolina. National Grilling Week month is well underway, and grilling is one of America's favorite pastimes. But there are some health mistakes even the great grill masters might be making. We've got Dr. Aimee Duffy here to talk about 5 health mistakes to avoid at the grill. Welcome. Happy Grilling Month.
Thank you. Welcome.
Something we all celebrate. You say overcooking meat is a common mistake, but there's a health issue beyond how you've just ruined your steak or your burger's flavor and texture.
It may not taste so well either, right? So according to Harvard research, overcooking meat and consuming overcooked meat can increase your risk of high blood pressure up to 15%.
Really?
And guys, increases your risk for prostate cancer up to 60%. So don't overcook your meat.
So you're correct to get a medium rare steak.
Yes.
There's some health benefits there.
Yes.
Is it a carcinogen thing too with the overdone?
That's the carcinogen thing with the prostate cancer and just stimulating inflammation for the high blood pressure.
All right.
And with your steak, as long as you're cooking the surface, then we don't have the risk of the salmonella food poisoning issue.
All right, so healthier and more delicious to get a rarer steak. We always knew it was true. Now, your next mistake to avoid has to do with burger flipping. What are people doing wrong when it comes to burger flipping?
Well, there's a lot of controversy because a lot of people throw that burger on, say, don't touch it, leave it alone. But I say, keep your spatula happy. You want to flip your burgers every 1 minute. Why? It increases the temperature gradually throughout the meat, which decreases the formation of those cancer-causing chemicals that are called HCAs. So another carcinogen issue there.
Interesting. So you're still going to get the good browned outsides, but if you keep it moving, you're on the safer side.
And some say that helps keep it more juicy because you're not, all the juice is not dripping down, you're actually flipping it and letting it incorporate back into the meat.
All right, everyone's ears perked up, whether it's for health issues, if it's going to taste extra
taste
juicy,
better,
we're going to do that.
Yep.
Next is the cleaning of the grill. How often is it necessary to do that, and how are we supposed to?
Well, of course, I think we should clean our grill after each use or even before each use if you didn't do it the last time. But here's the mistake, is using one of these grill wire brushes. So a lot of people want to use the wire. Well, here's what happens. Those little wire bristles can break off and get into your food if it's still stuck. You know, if you're really getting hard and you got that stuck meat or particles on there and they get stuck there, then you're putting your new food on there. That's going to lead to unplanned emergency room visits. You got some injuries to your mouth, the back of your throat. So instead, what you want to use is one of these grill cleaning tools that are made out of wood.
Okay, just rub that along the same way. You're just knocking off the big stuff. There's still some seasoning to be had on your grill after you do that. And then depending on the cut of meat you're working with, there might be some excess fat that needs to be trimmed off. What do we need to know about that?
So eating fat cooked at really high temperatures actually triggers inflammation. We've talked about inflammation before, and we want to reduce inflammation because we know that's the enemy to our health.
Yeah. All right. So trim the fat.
Trim the fat off your meat as much as you can. Your burgers, you want to try to get the lower fat settings as much as you can.
And the fat can be trimmed. You know, you could serve it up on the plate and then trim it that way. You don't have to trim it off while you're cooking. Maybe that's where some of the flavor comes from. Then whether it is beef or chicken, lamb or pork, marinating your meat is a fun way to kick up the flavors. But how do we get in trouble marinating? What can you teach us?
Yeah. So when we're marinating, this is another research that comes from the American Institute of Cancer, who says you need to marinate your meat at least 30 minutes. Why? It starts to form a protective barrier around your meat that also prevents the formation of those cancer-causing chemicals we were talking about earlier. So another reduction of carcinogens. So a great easy marinade that you can do that adds some health is, I've got a nice pretty steak here. I've already trimmed the fat off of this steak. And adding some rosemary. So rosemary also has antioxidants in it. We've talked about antioxidants before, being those cancer-fighting chemicals as well. So just throw in a couple sprigs of rosemary in there. Top it off. We're using light olive oil because light olive oil has a higher smoke point, and so that decreases any risk when you're cooking on the grill. Of course, we're using really high temperatures. Throw in your seasoning, salt and pepper. This is a steak seasoning that I just grabbed. Try to make that one that doesn't have a lot of sugar in it because we want to try to avoid the sugar as well. And then some chopped garlic. Mix that all up, rub it around, cover it up, throw it in your fridge at least 30 minutes, then you're ready to cook and enjoy.
This smells great already. We've had this out on the grill.
We're enjoying the rosemary, the garlic flavors in there,
Well, I love it. Great tips. And I know you and your team at Carolina Integrative Medicine are really passionate about helping people achieve optimal lifelong health. So you're always giving good advice like this. Anything else you want us to keep in mind before we go?
You know, just enjoy your time outside, enjoy your time with your family. And it's Barbie weekend, right? So we're talking about barbecues, and let's get out there and enjoy.
Thanks for having fun with us on Barbie Day, Dr. Aimee Duffy.